and think that it's reality.
Well, dreams, they feel real while we're in them, right? It's only when we wake up that we realize something is actually strange.
Welcome in, everybody, to another Dream-isode with QCO podcast hosts, Danny, Travis, and Alan.
Hi, guys.
Here again for
I just wanted to come in that way.
another
Hello.
beautiful dream. How are you guys doing today? I'm talking to you, my hosts.
Oh.
I'm not expecting people to, answer back through the microphone.
We just have a minute of silence after that. I don't think they're answering.
Nobody's answering. We want to thank everybody
We're
who
doing
listened.
good, by the way.
Oh, good. I'm glad.
I'm good.
We want to thank everybody who listened to our last week's Dream-isode, which was about the fat zombies, the inflatable My Little Ponies, the infected kittens. That was a good one.
The realm of the disappeared, the alternative road.
So, yeah,
the miniature road.
Miniature road. So, a while back, during the summer, I think it was August, we had a guest on our show here who was a good friend of ours. His name's Travis Mydell. We referred to him on and off from time to time. And his back in those episodes, we talked about what he does for a living. So he works for Amazon, AWS.
Up in Seattle.
Yeah. And but he's basically an idea man. He's written commercials for Amazon, for Nintendo, through Amazon, he's written stuff for I think it was Warner Brothers, or I think it's Warner Brothers, but it is, yes. But anyway,
it's confirmed.
It's confirmed in my head. The reason why I bring this up is because when he originally listened to these episodes, he said, you know what? I mean, the good idea would be for you guys to just break off and do these as a standalone separate show, which we kind of agree, but there's a lot to that. And we like our other episodes as well. And so it's just really kind of hard to break that apart and do those. But he was saying that, it would be kind of a really good, almost like an animated series to take these dreams and kind of almost like a
Rick and Morty.
Like a Rick and Morty type show, where each week you have the main person who dreams and is thrust into these. I mean, it's different. I mean, a lot of might have they're going to have the same characters. Obviously, you see Alan shows up quite a bit these days. I'm in and out every once in a while. Most of the time, I just pop in for a quick hello, and and then I'm gone. But. So this is what we would love to do. I mean, we'd love to have these become more than just what they are now. But, I mean, obviously, we really enjoy doing these, so we thank you for listening every week. Please tell others to come and listen.
Yes.
So that the more people we get,
just tell them it's pretty much like if you were a kid and you love going to the library for story time, this is pretty much like a glorified story time.
We try and spruce them up a bit with some extra sound effects, which Alan does a really great job. We try and not bombard him with too many. At least I don't. Daniel, when he does the sound effects, he throws a million of them at him. But either way, he does a great job doing it, so thank you. But so this week, we are on to Dream-isode 30. 30!
30. So you take that, you combine it with the 3 Dream Snips collections that we've had. That's 39 dreams total.
33. Yeah. Well, He's had
Well,
39
each dream
dreams.
snip,
Oh.
there's 3 snips in each collection. You got to get the snip to collection ratio correct. No.
I mean, if you think about it, just kind of depending on how many episodes you would like to have for a show like that, I mean, we're looking at 2 to 3 seasons right now already. So,
Yeah. I mean, if you did 13 episode seasons, that's 39.
yeah. So cool.
Unless you make the Dream Snips collections kind of like the Simpsons Halloween specials, where it's just like a quick series of 3 stories within the same show, then I guess you could do 11 episode seasons.
They
with
could be like
10 regulars
where they
and 1
end,
snips.
and then you just pop up and you're like, and then you just fall back asleep and have another dream.
Or I pop up and just am in the next dream.
That's true. So, all right, well, let's get going on this week's dream, which is, like I said, it's number 30 and is titled Hot Trees. I don't know. How else am I supposed to say that?
That's right. That's what I expected, but
Hot trees.
it's just when you actually hear it out loud, it sounds funny.
So I've been working extremely hard on landscaping my yard all summer. As I finish up for the day, I take a step back and stare at my yard to soak in my handiwork. After a few minutes of this, I decide that I need more trees. I think for a minute and conclude that 3 more trees should be just about perfect and will really bring the whole yard together.
Quite the landscaper in my dream.
I'm always looking for a good deal. So I start hitting up my contacts over the next week in hopes that one of them can direct me toward a good place to purchase trees. I'm a wheeler, I'm a dealer.
I'm a tree.
I got the burn to plant some ferns. Let's go.
Because
Well, you gotta
God
do some tree.
forbid someone in the future asks and you're like, yeah, I got ripped off on that tree. I paid like
I don't want to
twice.
overpay for a tree.
Hey, yeah, that Daniel, that tree there, that is a beautiful looking
Maple.
Birch.
I was going to say arble, but that's just tree in Spanish. I don't,
Wait, audible?
arble.
Audible.
But that is just one beautiful looking tree. How much that set you back? I didn't get a good deal on it. I'll tell you that much. Finally, one day after work, a friend hooks me up with the contact info of a tree guy he used a few years back. I got a tree guy.
This is like how mobsters talk when they're gardening. I got a tree guy. I can hook you up with a tree guy.
I'm going to give you the contact of my tree guy. And I hope one day in the future you can return a favor when I am planting
Bushes.
when I am planting my begonias.
It's at that moment that I will be looking for a flower guy. And I don't mean flower like the powder. I mean like the beautiful plant.
But I also, if I do want flour like the powder, in case I am making some delicious chocolate chip cookies, I would hope that you would open up your house and your arms in love for me and my family.
And lend me a cup.
Can I borrow some brown sugar?
What?
It's from Bad Boys.
Bad Boys. When he's like, hey, anybody here? We your new neighbors? Nah, man. Man, you got too much bass in your voice. Scared of white folk. You gotta sound more like them. We were wondering if we could borrow some brown sugar. Which, side note, did you guys see that the third one's coming out?
Yes, I'm super
heard about it.
excited.
We grew up on Bad Boys.
Yeah.
Bad Boys for life.
Danny even made a picture of his face photoshopped on Will Smith's body
That would be really weird.
on the Bad Boys poster.
They look good, I think.
I've photoshopped your head onto other things. It's weird.
Didn't we used to go back and forth and we would quote the part of the first Bad Boys movie
yeah.
when they were driving in
The
Will
Porsche at the
Smith's
very
Porsche,
beginning.
Yeah.
Yep. I can
And
still do it.
You would be
Martin Lawrence.
and I would be Will Smith, and I'd be like, "What was that?
He's like, where the cup holders, man? I ain't got no cup holders. What do you mean you ain't got no cup holders?
$70,000 or $90,000 for what's he
It's a limited edition. Dang right it's limited. Ain't got no back seat. Ain't got no cup holders. And then there's more, but gets into some profanity, which we won't do.
What you talking
So-
about? You sleep with a beautiful woman every night? Yeah, I'm married. What's it?
I don't know. I don't know what. That is a completely different scene. So,
What are you, a Popeye chicken eating mother beeper?
All right.
the tree
We're
guy.
past Bad Boys.
I know, we could do that for a long time. The tree guy and I talk for a couple minutes, mostly exchanging pleasantries, but soon enough, we're talking business. I explain to him that I am looking for 3 particular trees to put in my yard. He lets me know that filling my request shouldn't be a problem, but that I need to pick a service tier level first. Okay. Apparently, this guy
Has
has...
totally killed the vibe of the conversation.
I'm just...
Because it was sounding pretty cool, like just getting down to business. Like we exchanged a little pleasantry, then we get down to business. I let him know my request is these 3 particular trees. He lets me know that ain't gonna be a problem.
Let me just
but
say-
then we get into the situation where it's like, well, now you need to make a decision on the tier level of service that you would like.
See, let me just say, no, there's no sounding cool.
Yeah, you can't, like,
when
make that sound
negotiating
cool.
for tree service. Okay.
I thought it sounded pretty cool.
Filling your request should be no problem. But first you need to pick a tier level of service. Apparently this guy has 2 service tier levels. Level 1 is a full service tier. I can request the trees I want, and he will have them delivered to my yard and planted within 48 hours. Level 2, on the other hand, is more like a self-service tier. He will find the trees you want for you. But it's up to you to go pick them up, bring them home, and plant them. Of course, the tier 2 service is much cheaper than the tier 1 service, so since I'm trying to save money at the moment, I elect to go with the tier 2 service. He lets me know he'll give me a call when he finds the trees I want and will let me know when and where to pick them up. Within 24 hours, he's back on the phone and gives me an address that I need to go to in order to pick these trees up. He lets me know... I feel like you've said that a lot in the last few sentences. I need to be at this location at exactly midnight tonight to get my trees. No sooner, no later. It is exactly the stroke of midnight. The trees will appear. You have exactly 30 seconds to gather them up and put them in your car.
Well, they are gone forever. You will have to upgrade to service tier level 1.
Now, are these small baby trees or like full on big
They're like
papa trees?
they're like medium trees.
Like taller than you? Or...
I'm
Yeah.
just imagining like a Christmas vacation.
I think I explained how big they are a little bit later,
All right.
but I think they're taller than me.
He finishes the conversation by telling me that I will know which trees are mine, as they will be clearly marked. I'm so excited to go pick up my trees later that night that I can hardly contain myself. He's like laying in bed. He's like just kind of. Liz is like, "What? Would you be quiet? Stop fidgeting and go to sleep?" You're like, "I can't, Liz. I'm so excited. I get to go pick up trees."
Well, they're the exact trees I need to Complete my yard.
Like, why, thank you, Pepper Boy. Those are the exact trees I need. What? You guys have seen Saturday Night Live with Chris Farley and the Pepper Boy. Like Adam Sandler's the Pepper Boy. So they're at a restaurant and he comes over and Adam Sandler goes, fresh pepper.
Oh yeah.
And he grinds like 3 times and Chris Farley's like, why, thank you, Pepper Boy. That's the exact amount of pepper I need. So I don't know why that just reminded me of the Pepper Boy.
Because it was three twists.
Yeah. Those are the exact trees I need. At precisely 12 o'clock a.m. on the dot, I pull into the parking lot of the of the address he had given me. How did you time that?
I Google mapped it and it told me
Okay.
leave at this time.
In your dream, do you remember driving to this place or do you just remember showing up there?
I remember driving the last couple blocks at least.
All right.
He timed it because he was on his way and a block away he was like, I'm so early. so he just started going 2 miles an hour.
Circling the block a couple of times. He's just out at the gate. He's like, I just can't enter the parking lot until 12 o'clock a.m. on the dot. So it's 5 seconds left. His alarm goes off. He's like, 12 o'clock on the dot. I pull into the parking lot of the address he had given me earlier that day. I slowly roll my car through the parking lot while looking around for the whereabouts of the trees I requested. It doesn't take too long to identify the 3 trees. They were all positioned in a grass-filled median strip at the center of the parking lot. For whatever reason, because I made up in my head that they're going to disappear, I'm like, why are you taking so long to pick up these trees? But I forgot that he didn't actually say that they were going to disappear. They were all positioned in a grass-filled median strip at the center of the parking lot. Each tree had a large yellow ribbon tied around its trunk. The yellow ribbons must be the marks he was talking about earlier, I thought to myself. I parked my car and proceeded to walk toward my new trees. Unfortunately, it wasn't until I walked up to the first tree before I noticed that these trees were still buried in the ground. To add insult to injury, I did not bring any shovels or tools to get them out of the ground. A bit... He's making you steal trees. He's like, precisely 12 o'clock, because that is at when security goes home. A bit frustrated by this turn of events, I decide to push on the trunk of the tree to see if I can jar it loose. Lo and behold, it worked! Each tree was roughly 12 feet tall and had trunks that were about 6 to 8 inches in diameter. But they toppled over like a drunk hobo after riding one too many theme park roller coasters.
Is that what they do?
Not only did they easily fall over,
Maybe they wouldn't be hobos if they weren't blowing all their cash on admittance to a theme park.
not only did they easily fall over, but they fell over, roots and all.
Oh, because I didn't want to just snap it because it wouldn't live,
Yep.
Okay.
Thrilled with my sudden change in luck, I began to load the trees up in the back of my SUV. I get the first 2 trees loaded fairly quickly. However, when I started dragging the third and final tree toward my car, I got a sinking feeling in the pit of my stomach that something didn't feel right here. Why do I feel more like a thief than a paying customer at this moment? And why does this place look so familiar? I think to myself. I stop for a moment in the middle of the parking lot and begin to scan my surroundings. Suddenly, it dawns on me that I have been here before.
Oh, now the hot trees is starting to make sense.
I recognize the surrounding...
Not temperature hot.
Good job,
Ellen Chow.
I recognize the surrounding buildings and remember that a friend of mine either currently or at least used to work here. This is no tree nursery. Instead, I'm taking these trees. From what I recall, is an insurance agency. If this is the place I'm thinking of, then I know that this parking lot is under 24/7 surveillance, and now both my face and license plate numbers have been captured on video.
It's okay, though. The trees were insured.
I hesitate for a moment at what to do next. I'll tell you what you do. You just go get back out of your car, take the trees, put them back in the holes, look up at the cameras and go like, sorry.
Maybe I like clean them off a little bit.
Just kind of dust them. They're good. I hesitate for a moment at what to do next, but ultimately decide that I had come too far at this point and hastily tried to get the third tree loaded in the back of my car.
Danny noticed there's like a bird's nest with baby birds and already living in it. You're still in a tree with birds.
That's a good one too.
I didn't know where I was going with that.
There's like this whole
in my
huge
mind,
reveal, like, oh, but the tree probably had a bird's nest.
I picture in my mind like a new tree. It's birdless, right? Like, but you're stilling trees. They probably have birds that already live in it. So, anyways,
it never crossed my mind that I was like, the birds. I'm harming the birds.
I just picture him as like the Grinch, like bouncing, holding, like, and just like shoving the trees in the back of his car. There's a light that just won't light on one side. So I'm going to take it to my factory or my shop, bring it back here. As I labor to get the last tree in the trunk.
you got a big car.
I know. My eye catches a glimpse of a gentleman working late in his second-story office. He's standing at his window, his office window, with a cup of joe in one hand, and executes a partial stretch maneuver by arching his back and extending his other arm over his head. He's probably trying to wake himself up so he can continue his late-night grind. I freeze for a moment in hopes that he won't see me if I stand very still. Regrettably, this action does not prove successful, as the guy saw me as soon as he looked in my direction. It takes him a second to realize what is going on. First, he looks at me, pushing the trunk of a tree into the back of my car. Then he looks over and sees 3 empty holes on the grassy median where the trees used to be. Then looks back at me. This is when I can see him drop his cup of coffee and take off running toward the stairs.
He's
Like,
that
this
shocked.
is so amazing. Like, enough to, like, slow-mo drop your cup of coffee. He's like... What? Huh? No! As the coffee cup drops to the ground, shatters into a million pieces.
It's like the dark roast, just liquid, just topples.
Books it down. He's like, shh, I gotta tell him about the trees. No, he's still in the trees. Like, what if he's not like the only person in the office? He's just kind of like staring out the window. He's like, hey, John, why don't you come on over to the window? Look at this crazy thing. This guy stealing our trees from the parking lot. Look at him try and stuff 3 giant trees into his little car.
They took all the trees and put them in a tree museum.
Charge the people $1.50 to see them. Yeah, that's in a parking lot too.
Yeah, they paved paradise and put up a parking lot.
Danny built paradise, stealing trees from a parking lot. Okay. So Let's see. So he runs away. This is what I could drop. He drops a cup of coffee, takes off, running toward the stairs. I frantically try and push the last tree into my car the rest of the way. But the trees are so tightly packed that I cannot get it in to go any further. For this reason, I cannot close the trunk of my vehicle. At this point, I know I don't have another second to waste and decide that I will just have to hope that the trees are squished so closely together that they will not go anywhere while I drive. That was a lot harder to say than I thought.
Yeah, they're in there pretty good. I'm going to chance it.
Hurry, trees! The guy's coming!
You imagine the high-speed chase with the trees falling out, the cops dodging him.
Danny's all pissed. He's like, damn it! I lost one.
I needed 3 to complete my garden.
2 is not going to cut
I
it.
paid for 3.
The cops come to his house investigating. They don't know it was you. They don't know it was you, but they look around your garden and be like, I feel like this garden needs just exactly 3 more trees to be complete.
It's like you paid this guy money. And he just basically pointed out trees.
That's what you get when you go with the lower tiered service.
You get what you pay for. I guess I probably would have paid extra if I would have known that. I mean, at least this way, they're just stealing the trees.
Yeah, that's true. This is like a very lucrative business for him. All he's out is like 3 big yellow ribbons.
It's like, how will I know which trees are mine? Oh, you'll know.
They'll be clearly
marked with yellow ribbons.
Even if those weren't the ones I was marking for you, you just take any trees that you come across. And those will be yours.
I rapidly make my way out of the parking lot and down a small commercial road that I had driven in on. As I barreled down the road, I can see a slew of hired security mobilizing into place. The man who saw me in the parking lot must have called security, and they were now here to try and stop me. I could see that they had already put down a security gate. Dang! These are like fast security guys.
I know. They were good.
They had already put down a security gate and were in the process of setting up a blockade and destroying traffic spikes. Holy crap. Deploying.
What kind of company is this? They like have a SWAT team of security.
Got like a bullhorn out there. They're like, you in the vehicle. Stop your car and get out. And give us our trees back. You may not proceed any further because there are spikes. You see on the ground? That is all.
So that is all. In my head, this is like sounds like a Canadian heist.
I know. It's like the great 3-tree heist.
Instead of the maple syrup heist.
They're like, you don't understand.
Maybe they were maple trees. Oh, so I just was going right to the source.
You don't understand, sir. We're called 3 Pine Mall. You take those 3 pines. We're just mall. Please give us our trees back. I can see that they already put down this and deploying traffic spikes. Right then, I knew that I either had to commit 100% to my escape from this situation or turn myself in. What are you thinking at this moment? Dude, you could have stopped. You realize you were still in trees.
This is the classic tale of like one thing led to another. Since one bad decision just turned into a whole bunch of them.
Like in jail, you have to be the tough guy, but when they're like, "What are you in for?" I stole some trees.
Grand tree arsoner.
What?
That's arson is lighting things on fire.
Larceny.
Larceny. Grand tree larceny.
Grand tree arsonery.
I guess they would be hot trees if you did that.
Since
Words are so similar.
Yeah, they are. Since the security mercenaries were not quite set up yet, I made the decision to go for it. I pushed the pedal to the ground and floored it out of the industrial area I was in. My small SUV burst through the wooden gate they had up. They had up and through the entrance just a split second before the traffic spikes popped up. I continued to fly down the road and began taking any random twist and turn I could find. Oh, that was hard. Any twist and turn I could find to try and lose these guys. I would hide out on empty, dark street. Turn my headlights off.
That was the name
and
of the
wait
street. Empty dark.
Turn my lights off and wait.
No.
Like, oh, hey.
They're going to have a hard time selling houses on this street.
He calls Liz. He's like, Liz, I need you to come get me. Where are you? I'm on empty, dark street. 1672 empty, dark street.
They really do need to create a street name like that.
It's literally nothing on it. Just an empty, dark street.
Just a dead end at one end.
Yeah. Turn my headlights off and wait to see if anyone would come. The type of thing occurred repeatedly over the next few hours, but every time I thought I was home free, their security personnel would find me and the chase would begin all over again. Sorry, I'm just picturing how stressed out he is in his dream. He is so stressed. He's freaking out.
You ever been chased by a whole security squad?
Just as soon as he thinks that he's okay, it's like, there he is, guys. He's like, ah! Chase would begin all over again. Eventually, I became exhausted, and the realization that the resources this company had at its disposal was too much for me to handle. And that settled in. Finally, I knew that I was going to have to face the music and give myself up. So, without further delay, I pulled out of my current hiding spot and pulled over onto the side of a major street, which was next to Dark Empty Street. Empty Dark Street.
I'm on the corner of Empty Dark and Major.
Within seconds, the security personnel had me surrounded with their various siren-laden vehicles.
Their what?
Siren-laden vehicles. Most of them had got out of their cars and were approaching my vehicle with their weapons drawn. Weapons drawn?
Just
They took this very seriously.
So this is security, not police.
No, this is not police. This is just that company's security.
Yeah, it's their
I don't-
hired personnel.
I don't think security is allowed to have like guns.
Well, if it's private property. I don't know why I said it that way.
It's going to be Clint Eastwood or John.
Private property.
I was going to say John Elway.
John Elway.
Not John Elway. What's his name?
John something?
The cowboy guy.
Elton John.
No. John Wayne.
Oh, John Wayne.
Crud. All right. with their weapons drawn, I slowly open my door and expose my hands. I have no weapons, guys. I didn't even have a shovel. I exposed my hands so they could see that I was not carrying a weapon. A couple of the men rushed toward me, screaming and demanding that I not move. As I stood there in the spotlight of this whole mess, I began to issue an official apology to the legion of hired guns that had tracked me down. I let them know I am sorry for taking the trees. I'd be happy to give them back.
Well, all your actions up to this point prove otherwise.
They seemed receptive to this, and I slowly made my way to the rear of my car. Like, he's like down on the ground. He's like got his hands on his head, and they're like, "You move and we will shoot you." It's like, guys, I'm sorry. Okay? I'm sorry I took your trees. I'd like to give them back. Well, okay then there. Well, thank you, sir. I don't know why I went from Canadian to like a Southern hick. I don't know. Okay there. Okay, sir. Okie dokie. One by one, I removed the trees from my vehicle. Each time I pulled out a tree, a couple of armed men would approach me, grab the tree from my possession, and scurry back toward the automobiles, trees in hand. Once they had custody of all the trees, they all retreated back into their cars and drove away. With not much left to do at this moment, I proceeded to drive back home. Once there, I quietly crawled back into bed with my wife. She sensed that I was just getting to bed and asked me if everything was all right. I leaned over and whispered into her ear, "You look like Quasimodo." Sorry.
Whatever.
I leaned over and whispered into her ear, "I should have sprung for the Tier 1 package." This is when I woke up. See, I like
Your hands
these
are
ones.
like covered in sap, like on Christmas vacation. It gets stuck on like the lamp and her hair.
I like these ones because it ends. Like there's nothing more to really do.
You just like the ones with the ending.
I would like to know like what you do by like calling the tree guy and be like, "Hey, jackass,
I want a refund. I didn't get my trees.
give me my money because you're just a freaking thief." Or, well, I'm the thief, but you made me a thief. But you stole my money.
I'm so giving you a low review on Yelp.
I could see the review. It's just like, great customer service, but they didn't actually give me the trees. I had to go steal them myself.
After a long night of a car chase, I don't have trees anymore.
This company makes it simple to find your tree. They just mark them with yellow ribbons. Self-service.
Suggest bringing a shovel.
Okay, well, so that is dream number 30. Now, before we end here, do need to make an announcement. It is the holiday season, and Santa Claus, doop-de-doo.
I don't think that's how the song
Is
goes.
coming.
It's the holiday season,
I think Travis
and Santa Claus is coming down the chimney.
What song are you singing?
I think Trav is portraying himself as that hobo in the dream that
Theme park drunk hobo.
took too many rides on the roller coaster.
Yeah. So as much as we would love to, I mean, we've got things that we're doing, and just like pretty much everybody else. So we are finding ourselves with less time to be able to get together to record these Dream-isodes. So there will be I think it's like a 2-week hiatus.
Yeah, just 2 weeks, the last 2 weeks of the year.
Yeah, so
and we'll be back with the Dream-isode on I believe it's the 6th of January.
Okay, so basically then from this point, it's 2 weeks.
Yep.
Okay, so 2 weeks from now that you are listening to this.
Well, maybe it's 3 weeks.
Maybe it's 3 weeks. I don't know.
You miss 2 weeks, and then we come back the next week. So I guess it would technically be 3 weeks.
Okay. Well, we will come back. It will be 3 weeks from now, but you will only miss 2 Mondays of no dreams.
Yes.
Of dreams. Of having no dreams. But
you only miss 2 Mondays of having no dreams?
yes. But we will have our
shouldn't it
other
be-
episodes. Again, well, we wanted to at least release something, so we will be putting something out there. Although I don't think we're going to be recording anything new.
We will be releasing a couple of best of the Q Code podcast episodes that will be released over the course of the next couple weeks. So if you've missed any or just want to re-listen to the best segments we've had so far, best segments meaning whatever we deem the best apparently,
Yeah.
then you should catch those episodes. And if you haven't listened to them all, this is a way to catch up and be like, well, at least I got to hear the cream of the crop.
Like if you're sitting there like, oh, not new episodes for a couple weeks, well, go back and listen to any ones that you haven't listened to. So
And
even
they'll be
if
kinda new.
even if they're crappy ones, we're
What are you
getting
talking-
better.
There is no crappy ones.
Yeah, there was a reason why we didn't release a few of them until we had to. So, but yeah. So we thank you for your support, for listening. We hope that you guys have a wonderful, I was going to say Christmas, but
Holiday
let's be
season.
politically correct for all of those that may not follow this pagan holiday. Just kidding. Yes, have a happy holiday season and have sweet dreams. Make sure to let us know if you do. I mean, I think we've kind of got away from asking people to send us in dreams because nobody's doing it. But
It's true.
if you do have dreams,
Or if you have endings, Trav's gone over this before, we would take those too for any of these dreams.
yes.
Really, we just want to know someone's out there.
I mean, we know you're there because we can see the numbers.
That's true. But we don't hear you.
Yeah. We need you to collapse the wave function and let us know that you've observed us.
So Alan is talking about quantum physics for anyone who doesn't know.
I did not know that.
But we will get into that in a future episode.
That made sense though, right?
As Trav, well, it makes sense to someone who knows quantum physics. But as Trav knows, I love Schrodinger's cat. So
Loves.
maybe we'll talk about Schrodinger and his cat sometime.
Maybe.
I think I'm going to have Trav teach.
Based on
that
your last
lesson.
stream, you have issues with cats.
Yes, you hate cats. You want
Those
them
were not Schrodinger's cats. Those were just
chopped up into itty bitty pieces.
homeless cats.
Were you owned by a guy named Schrodinger? Then we're going to kill you.
You don't deserve to live.
I don't know why you guys thought I was going to cut the cats up.
Because the way you wrote it.
Hey,
Let's get that plastic piece off their legs so I can chop them up into little pieces.
If you don't know what we're talking about, go back and listen
Go
to
back to the
stream,
last
'cause It's a
stream.
good one.
All right.
My freaking evil little pony was the name of that dream.
Yep. So thanks everybody for listening. And as always,
hot trees.
hot trees. What you gonna do? Windows security guards come for you. Have a good week, guys.
Happy New Year.